Hey, how you doing? I'm Coach T. This is week 40 something. I missed last week because we've been really busy with a pretty large house renovation project and I haven't had a lot of time. So, this Sunday morning, I have a little time before we start work. It is well, it's not dawn because we're in summer now, but it's early. It's 6:35 as I record this. If I look exhausted, it's because it's been a long week. There's been a lot of reconstruction and working around problems, and it's just been a lot. So, haven't had a lot of time to code. I've probably sat down 3 times in the last 8 days to work on code. I've just been too tired to work on it, honestly. I started working on a revamped memory game for my daughter last weekend, but then the house renovation project started, and that's just kind of on hold. And then I worked on an experimental script, trying to see if I can control something in Cinemachine. Yeah, it's just been really busy with actual house renovation repair project stuff. So I did, however, make the submission guideline or deadline for Von Come Home. Excuse me. Let me see if I pull this up real quick. Oops, not that far. Went too far. Let's see. Let me double check this real quick. That looks good. Okay. Here you go. You should be able to see the Von Come Home Game Jam submission. So I made it. I don't know if it works on Linux. I couldn't get it to run on my Steam Deck, and I don't have my Linux machine up and running right now. But it does work on Windows, and it does work on Mac from what I was told. It's got 10 levels, and I mean, I'll be honest, the gameplay is simplistic. It might get a little boring pretty quickly, but it does have a story that it tells, and Vaughn is a fully animated model. There's another character who's a fully animated model. There's asteroids and space turrets to shoot. You know, it takes about 20 minutes to play through start to finish. So, if you had kind of followed my very brief little history there of developing Vaughn Comes Home, there you go. It is a first complete game. It's by no means perfect, but I learned a lot. In particular, I learned about how singleton patterns really work in software because I'm using singleton patterns in a couple of cases. I learned about more about scene management for sure. I learned about do not destroy on load scripts, even though I didn't end up using them. I learned about them, and I will use them the next time. I learned more about how the UI works, especially how the UI works in conjunction to the gamepad. That is totally new to me, and I thought it would be more of a pain in the rear end than it is. I learned more about animations, which is something that I really don't like doing. Animation is just not my thing. I learned that I can finish a project, a game like that, start to finish, pretty quick with a core gameplay loop established. And I learned more about I learned more about the UI. I was able to put that UI together pretty quickly on my own. So there's a lot there. You know, it's not a long game, but there's a lot there. I exceeded my expectations for the core gameplay loop pretty quickly, so I kept adding stuff on. So there are planets of varying sizes that I was able to fix because I had time before it was too tied to the prefab size. So I also learned about why I should keep the model and the root game object as separate things. I mean, I knew I should, but now I know why. You know, it's an object lesson. And I learned pretty quickly that once you have the core gameplay loop down, you're like, here's how most scenarios play out. Then you can start to add in edge cases. So, what happens if you're moving really quickly when you start your orbit? What if you don't totally trust the game to provide enough orbs randomly? Where should you deploy those? What if it is just orbiting and shooting lasers? It is a little bit boring, let's be honest. What if we add in a turret? The turret took me 20 minutes to code and about 15 minutes to debug, which is a pretty funny process. So I learned a whole bunch of little things in there. Actually, I might even have a video here that I can share. Movies. Is it this one? Sorry, I realize this is riveting in the background. Let me see. Oh yeah, it's definitely this one. All right, let's flip real quick. Rewind a little bit. You can see what happens when the turret turns on. That was an accident. I mean, it's a cool looking accident, but it's an accident. So that's it. I don't have a whole lot else to share just because we've been so busy with the house reconstruction stuff. I'll get back to it. I'm talking with a small team now of fellas who are giving me some ideas to refine. We might not proceed with that twin stick shooter. It's looking like we might prototype something else before we make a decision on the full prototype model. But in the meantime, I'm learning more about how to utilize the mouse, how to utilize the UI, how to utilize save and save and loading. That's one thing that got built into my daughter's memory game is saving and loading the username and the user accumulated score for memory. I'm rebuilding one of my earliest projects with the extra months of know-how. So I don't know when I'll be able to share that off just because I don't know when we'll be done with this process. But they're moving around, which means we're probably ready to work. So I'm going to go get to it, and I hope you get to it. And I will check back next week when all the renovation stuff is done, and hopefully I've got a little bit more to show off. So go build something cool. All right. I'll catch you next week.